Alrighty then. Let's get this done. Alright, so from yesterday, I got really busy, did not have any time to come back on. And I've been just answering phone calls and doing stuff during the day. And haven't had time to actually stream. It's not really fair to be on the phone like I was a little bit yesterday, and you guys are just sitting there waiting. So I think I'm done. We're gonna chance it. And what we're gonna do is go over what I've kind of hashed together. I got completely frustrated with this, by the way. And I started from scratch. I completely deleted everything and redid it from scratch, just because I was getting so frustrated why it wasn't getting references to stuff. And I just, took a deep breath. Woosah, right? And then I redid it. So let me show you what this looks like. So this is the finished product. And it's much better. And now let's go over the controller. Let's start with the controller. So what you can see is I have not only the in menu, but I have the player inventory and the menu on here as well. So the I don't think I'm even using this now. You know what? Let's try that. Let's go ahead and go into the third person. And let's get rid of this, because I don't think it uses it at all. Because I don't think I set this at all. Yeah, no. So that's fine. We don't even need that anymore. Alright. So, okay, we're done. We don't even need this. We're done. It doesn't matter what character you have anymore. Everything is on the controller. Don't need this. This can go away. So we have the inventory and we have the menu. Now the menu is the reference to, it's what we're setting the viewpoint to. So from the controller we can just reference this whenever we want and change its visibility in here. So the first thing I have is when I press play, right now it's just generating from the player inventory, it's generating a sample inventory, and then it sets it to whatever is returned, okay? And then, and I did that just for, the giggles. And so while I'm testing, that's what it does. This function right now basically goes through 5 iterations. It adds a random item, which is only one. It only stacks once. I haven't added stacking in yet, which is the next step. It creates the item, and then it adds it to the array and does all this cool stuff. And that is that function. So this is the get random items. This one hasn't changed at all. It just basically gets the length of it, subtracts 1 from it, so we start at index 0, and so it will get a random number from 0 to whatever that index is count, and it returns a single item, a random item, from the item database and spits it out, and that's how we do our generate random item from database. And that's pretty much it for that. Those are the only 2 functions that exist anymore. The other thing is the event tick. So the event tick now is inside the controller. I think it was in there before. It checks to see if whatever the controller is, if you just pressed or released the key that is I, then we're going to see if the menu is valid. So does it exist? That's a null check in Blueprints apparently. And then if it's true, you're going to take the menu, check if it's visible. If it is visible, we're going to set the visibility, and then we're going to populate the inventory UI, and we'll get to that. We'll just come back. So if it isn't visible, it sets it to visible. Sorry, this sets it to hidden. This sets it to visible, populates the UI. Just because I was just testing. I probably actually get rid of this one and only make it populate it when it's visible. But anyways, So yeah, and then if it's not a valid menu, it creates a new menu, sets this object to the menu that we just created, adds it to the viewport, and then sets the visibility to visible. So populate the inventory UI. This is a function on the menu itself. And all it does is it takes in an inventory list now. It used to be in the old version it was a widget, and I just scrapped that idea and I'll just store the array on the character. That way at least I can see it. So it will take the array, it will wipe out the wrap box, so anything that's in the menu it deletes it all. It loops through the array, and for each one it has to do create an item widget, which is the little white square with the number. Let me show you that real quick here. It is the UI menu display designer. This part here. So this is the part with the image icon and the stat count on it. So this is creating one of those, and then it's going to return the value. And from that, we're going to set the image from whatever element, whatever item we're on right now. It's going to take the image icon and set the image to that. It's going to set the stack size to whatever the stack size is in the inventory. And then it's going to set the item tooltip. So we create a tooltip of the tooltip widget. We set the item tooltip from the item that we chose. And then we set up the tooltip where we assign it to itself. And then we do all this fun stuff. This basically just sets it. So whatever this tooltip is what it's actually bound to. So that's what that function does, is it sets the value so the binding gets triggered and all that kind of fun stuff. I guess that's how that works. It works. Don't complain. And then we set the tooltip again. Maybe we don't have to do that. Let's actually test that. If we're doing it there, we might not have to. Okay, and then we add the widget that we've just created, we add it to the wrap box. So let's go ahead and try this again. Let's just make sure that this works. Yeah, okay, we're good. I was just doing it twice. Alright, so we don't need that function then. We don't need to set up the tooltip. Get rid of that function. Decrease the code base. And we're getting runtime errors. Okay, one sec. Right there. Come on, let's do this. There we go. Yes, we need the function still. I was dumb. I deleted the function that I was doing. There we go. Now there's no errors. Yes, we have errors. Let's go find out what this is. Okay, let's get rid of this here. So this must be the one in the add-on. I don't know. We'll just delete it from there and we'll see what it does. Yeah. Alright, so it still works. It was referencing something else apparently. Can I see which one this actually is? I don't know. I think it's because I have one in here. But whatever. Let's make it the same. Alright. So that's how that works. It's just basically a lot more streamlined as far as where the functions are. everything is on the controller itself. I don't have to worry about things just randomly appearing and disappearing and no references to it. And yeah. So now I got to work on the stacking, right? So this is going to be when we generate the inventory. So I want to close this, save that. We don't care about that. We don't care about the display. Here's the controller. So we're going to go into here. And we want player functions. Alright, so this is where we need to check the stack. So the steps are going to be, we're going to look through our inventory and we're going to see if we have a item that exists that does not exceed the stack size if we were to add the item to it. If we don't, we just add a new item. Alright. So, in order to do that, we're just going to do this. Okay, so before we add, what we want to do, I'm going to drag this way out here for now. This is how we're making the item. It's just weird how this should just go, but it's not. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to pull my array and I want to go through it again. I want a for each loop. And go like this. Okay. So we need to find out if there is an item in it. Should we have a break? No. So what we'll do is we will do a take the element and we'll go break this up and we'll go if can I just make an nope. Okay, so I'm not sure if this is gonna go beforehand or not. I'm not sure 100% how that's gonna work, but if I reference this, if I say okay, so I want the stack size, so I want to take the sum of the item going in plus what is there is greater than the stack size of what's there. So if the item going in plus integer this stack size is greater than this value. Okay. Alright, so if the item oh, and we have to match the name. We have to match the name. And the equals case insensitive this. Nope, we're not going to make it case insensitive. This. And I want to say if both of these are true, so it matches and we have a stack size that could be added to, then what we're going to do is we are going to make a branch and we want to hook this out. We will get rid of this for now. Delete this. Alright. So here's our branch. Whatever. So no, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna skip this for now. Let's just try this. Let's just find the item first. So I want to go, do we have an item? Does the item exist? Yes, the name matches. Now what we're going to do is we're going to test to see if the item in the inventory, if this is greater, or sorry, if the stack size is equal to this. Okay. So this is a completely one. So branch. Okay, so we found the item. We're gonna branch and we're gonna say is if they're equal, we're just gonna continue. If it's not equal, what we're gonna do is we're gonna say, okay, so if can we take the stack size plus this stack size is greater than the max stack size. We'll make a branch. Alright, so this is false. So it's not equals, and the false is going to be, okay, so if it is bigger than, we're just going to ignore it. If it's not bigger than, that means we can add to it. So what we'll do is we will go, we will basically just set this value to the new size. So we will say stack size by ref, set by ref variable. So if it's false, right? Yeah, if it's false, we're going to set this to this value. Okay. Now, let's get rid of that for now. Okay, so let's just go over this real quick, just to see, make sure my logic. Oh man. Okay, so we need to go. We're gonna go for each one, get a random item, break the player out into its variables. We're going to go through each element in the array and find out if it's a matching name. If it is a matching name, is it full? If it's not, is the sum of the two stack sizes greater than the max stack size in the inventory? If it's not, we're going to go and set the value to it. So this, it's not equal, so it's not max. However, it could still be added to it, and we just add the excess as an item, right? So we'll drag this down, and we're going to say, we're going to subtract the difference from the stack size, and we're going to go, so the item coming in, I want to go take this minus, and I want to go the max minus the stack size, and subtract that. So this is going to be taking the stack size from the what we have left, and we're going to set the item in the inventory to that value. And this is if it's okay, so this is equal if it's true. If it's false, it should be this one, right? If the size is greater and it's not equal, so it should do that. All right. And then we need to verify if the size of the item now is 0. So now if this value, the one that coming in, is equal to 0, and we're gonna go to this. So if it's 0 and it's not, we're going to add the item and ignore it if it is, because there's nothing left of it. So we're going to take our inventory and we're going to add false, and we're going to add we're going to do, let's break this out just in case. Nope. Make, and we're going to just go like this. It's going to be really small for you guys, but that's okay. And we do this. Okay. Save. So this should not change. This should still work the same way, and it doesn't. Oh, because I have to do complete. I have to do if it's when it's completed. We're adding. So if all of these things fail, so if it equals this, I think it's there. If the name matches true, we'll do this. Okay, so it's after that. If it's greater, then we're going to say here, right? Set integer false. If it's true, we're gonna add that and add the extra one. Okay. That's interesting now. So now why it shouldn't have this issue. It should automatically create it. It should create an item if there's nothing in there. So obviously something is breaking. Oh, it's not even looping, that's why. We're gonna go through each one, and in the loop body, like that. Nope. Go through each item in the inventory, get an item, and then we're going to take that item, and we're going to compare these two and do all of our stuff with it. So at some point we need to add the item if there's nothing in there, right? So that should be here. When it's complete. No, we can't do it when it's complete. Or we can do a check to see if the inbound item stack size is not 0. equals 0 if the stack size is equal to 0. Otherwise, we're going to, let's go copy our this, bring this over here. If it's not 0, we're just going to copy this, 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 this. And what's wrong with that? Oh, I need to reference this. Alright. Now, we need a we need an item that can stack now. Data here, item database. Gonna add an item, and it's gonna be called leather. Weight of 0.1. 0.1. Ooh, that is not the right value. Okay, whatever. Okay, so its stack size, max stack size is going to be 200, and stack size default is going to be 1. And I want a item texture of leather. Let's try something that looks really fun. That's cloth. Cloth. Oh, there we go. We'll do this one. And we'll select that. Now, I don't have an item mesh for it, so we'll just set it to none right now, since it's not going to fall on the ground. Alright, so let's see if this works. Okay. Not really. I think it's adding it. It looks like it's adding itself to itself, right? So it's adding whatever the existing one is. So there's a math calculation error in there. So let's go into our stacking part. So this is where it is adding oh, I forgot the max stack size. There you go. Okay. Let's we're gonna have to trace this around now, and we have it matches the name if it's not full, and then we're going to go if the value of the stack size and the stack size is greater than the max stack size of the one in the inventory, we're going to do this. So if it is greater than that, it's supposed to set the stack size of the item, the value of the max stack size difference minus the stack size coming in. So if this is 200 and there's 1, it should be 199, and then nope, this should be a plus. Take the difference and add the stack size. And I want to do if it's greater, right? This is if it's greater. Nope, one sec here. So many wires, so many wires. I wonder if I can just make this cleaner. Like, what would be the easiest way to do this? Think of all of the ways to check variables where I'm not, then I don't have all these lines in there. That's, let's do something here. So I want to, if I have a stack of 200 item, right, and I want to add a one stack of same item, right? So I need to see if the in each item in inventory, see if the stack is full. Before that, we'll just go inventory loop. Okay, so in the inventory loop, we want to go name match, and then we want to do is stack full. And then we have a let's go look at this code again. Okay, so then we have a check if it's not. So you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna do something amazing here. Just because we're gonna solve all of these problems here. Let's get rid of this. We'll keep this one. We'll delete that. Okay, so we're gonna go through each item in the inventory, and we're gonna make a function that is let's close this. Item name match, and we're going to input the inbound name and we want a so these are going to be our two entries, right? So this is the inbound item and this is the item in the inventory. So we're going to do a item name match and item name match. This is a string, and this is the inbound name, and I want inventory name, and compile. So the inbound name is the name. I have to break it out, really. cannot type at all today. Break. Alright, so this is the two items, and I want to check them. So I'm going to plug in the inbound name and the existing item name. On here, we're going to output a matched as a boolean. And I need to do this right here. Get random item. Ow. And we're going to go right into this, and then we're going to go right into this. So every loop, we're going to take each item and match it. Okay. Now I want a function to see if the stack size is full. Stack size full. And this is going to be a inbound stack size as an integer, and inventory stack size as an integer. Outputs full, and all we're going to do is going to go this equals this. Alright. Pile. Oops. Here. And we're going to go here, and we're going to take the stack size of the inventory. Nope. That's not the right one. I don't want inbound. This is max stack size. File. Okay, and we're going to take the stack size and the max stack size, and there's a branch. Okay. So if we have a match of the name, we're going to see if it's full. If it's not a match, we don't care. Branch. And so if it's not a match, we don't care. If it is a match, we check and see if the stack size is full. Next step is the stack size greater than inventory. And we're going to pass in inbound stack size integer, inventory stack size is an integer, output a too big. Cool. So if the and then I also need the inventory max stack size, which is an integer. So this plus this is greater than this. Return that. And we're going to go, okay, so if the stack size is full, we want a branch. If it isn't full, okay, if it is full, if the stack size is full, we'll just keep going through the loop, because there might be another one in there, right? If it isn't full, that means we found an inventory slot that does not have a full stack. And so let's just add to it, and then we will add an extra item, I guess, for now. Yeah. And that's going to be a problem though, because now I'll have a item that I'll probably end up adding to the inventory that is not a full stack. Yeah, I could probably do an item cleanup, but I wonder how much easier that would be. Just add all the items and then add up all of the numbers of the same items, divide it by the number of stack size, the max stack size for that item, create that number, and any remainders create an existing item. It's an idea. I'm gonna think about this actually, because that'll change the way that the functions are written if I do that. Otherwise, I have to basically fill it up, and then I would basically take this part onwards, and I would make a function from it. We could look for a stack in the inventory and return its index. And then if it returns like a -1, we'll say, because you can't have a -1 in the index, it means we just add a new item. Otherwise, we're just going to add to that item. Maybe that's a way to go. That might be a little easier. Okay, take a break. I'll come back to this in like an hour or two, and we'll see what happens. Thanks for watching so far, and